Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to my Asshole Podcast. We have a beautiful Tuesday episode for all you lovely people out there. Oh man, it's been one hell of a week. It's been one hell of a month, one hell of a ride so far. Next month on the 14th will be Am I the Asshole Podcast's 2-year anniversary. We're coming up on that bad boy quick as hell. And it is amazing to me to see that I've been consistent with this podcast for 2 years, man. Giving you guys pretty much 2 to 3 episodes a week. Giving you guys streams, all that stuff, man. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Keeping up with the, short form content, long form content, streams. It's been a lot, man. It's been enjoyable. We've gone over so much in this podcast. It's crazy. Like, you guys, the listeners, have taught me so much of like what's going on in the world and like just people's lives. This podcast is a great window into other people's lives, and I'm just there for it. I got my popcorn ready, and I'm just checking it out, seeing what's going on, because you guys are interesting as fuck, and it's nice because when I check my analytics, and I've said this before on the show, when I check my analytics and see that people are watching from all over the world, it's not just people in the United States, it's people in fucking New Zealand and Australia and the UK and Germany and Indonesia and, all kinds of places, bro. It's wild to me, and I love that. I really do. I see you guys. Y'all out there, y'all representing. I appreciate that so much, man. Oh, it's been nice. It's been really, really nice. So, without further ado, though, we're gonna get into today's thread. Today's thread is a bit of an interesting one. It is, what's the worst excuse you've ever heard for not coming into work? Oh man. What's some crazy shit y'all been saying to not come into work, huh? What y'all been saying? Let's see what's up. All right, so what's the worst excuse you've heard for not coming into work? Guy leaves a message. Yep, I'm sitting on the porch, pretty drunk, drinking beer can opens. Won't be in today, probably not tomorrow or the next day. Best part was he forgot to hang up the phone and began singing whatever song was on the radio. We saved that message and played it over and over. Guy didn't get fired. That's crazy. Bro didn't get fired? Like, what the fuck? Homeboy was just like, yeah, what's up, boss man? I'm on the porch. I'm drunk. And I won't be in today. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not the next day. All right, then. And then he thought he hung up the phone, and he was like, sweet home Alabama. Where the skies are so blue. God damn, they're blue, yeah. And then that nigga get back to work, and they playing that shit for him. They like, hey, yo, what's up, sweet Alabama dog? What's up? Oh, man. Oh, shit. Yo, they was on my man's ass, bro. I would be on his ass, too. I ain't gonna lie. You want to not come to work and you have the fucking funniest call-in ever. That's crazy. Oh, man. All right, what's the worst excuse you've ever heard for not coming into work? I can't find my inhaler. I dropped it at the carnival. The guy smokes. He also took the day off on 4th of July because he was feeling sick. Right. Come on, man. I know so many people that do that bullshit, bro. Oh, that be pissing me off. It be pissing me off to no extent. When people know there's a holiday coming up and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna plan to call off, and you're hella busy, and you're thinking like, oh yeah, Ricky should be here in like the next 20 minutes. Like, oh, for sure, okay, cool, we gonna get some help. You know what I mean? And then this nigga Ricky don't come in, and you like, fucking Ricky, man. You know, you got customers up the wazoo and shit. Woo! That's why I ain't gonna lie to you. That's why I don't miss working retail, bruh. Oh, because there would always be one. There would always be one. There would always be one motherfucker, bro. One motherfucker. And they would sit there and they would wait until the holiday shows up. And that bitch ass motherfucker would call off. And you're like, whoa, if I didn't need this job, man, because they never get fired. They never get fired, bro. Oh, I swear, man, I'd be like, if I didn't need this job, you mother lover, you, god dang. Yeah, man. All right, what's the worst excuse you've ever heard for not coming into work? A girl I used to work with, her grandma has died 4 times.
Bruh.
I know a guy who said, gonna be late, taking a shit. Hey, I'd rather take the guy who is gonna be late because he's taking a shit over a girl where she's saying my grandma died 4 fucking times. Bro, you will never, and I mean ever, understand the extent that people will go to like kill off fake family members to get out of work. Bro, it's insane. And look, you try to give them the benefit of the doubt. You really do. You try to give them the benefit of the doubt. You try to say, you know what? Damn, you know, that's really sad. I feel for you, this, and that. But then it becomes a pattern. And then you're like, wait a minute. Hold on. Something a little fishy here. You didn't you say your grandma died last year? You know, like you start to get that skeptical cap on. You know, you become Sherlock Holmes in this bitch, and you got your little monocle on, and you like, wait a minute. You know, you start investigating shit. I swear, dude, I've worked with so many people who have had family members just dying left and right, and this and that, and I'm like, bruh, what the fuck? Like, I don't got family members dying like that. That's wild. That's really wild. And then they be like making big deals out of like family members going to the hospital and stuff like that. Like, look, I understand if you have to go, you know, because they don't have anybody else, or, you know, they happen to just, you know, they call you or whatever. I get that. But some people be making it into a thing where they be gone for like weeks at a time. And I'm like, bro, they just went to the hospital. Like, I don't think you got to be there that long. Like, I get it. It's one of those things where, you know, I understand that, but at the same time, you got to come to work. You know, like a lot of people be forgetting, like, bro, you agreed to this. You know what I mean? You agreed to this. Your obligation is to come to work. Like, what the fuck? And it be pissing me off because companies be letting that shit go, and I'm like, bruh, come on, man. I know y'all be feeling that pain. God damn. All right, what's the worst excuse you've ever heard for not coming into work? I don't feel like being around people today. Was honest, though. Yeah. I mean, it may just be my work ethic, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I be going to work and I be like, bro, don't fucking talk to me. You know, I be like, nobody say a goddamn thing to me right now. Because I'm either tired or I'm just not dealing with it. You know, like there be a lot of times where I'm just like, motherfucker, just don't talk to me. Don't even deal with me. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, again, it's my work ethic. I just go to work anyways. And I'm like, I need the money. Like, you know what I mean? You just do it. Yeah. I get it, though. I get it. All right. What's the worst excuse you've ever heard for not coming into work? I have anal blindness. Wait.
What did he say?
Hold up. You got what blindness? Hold up. Okay. I just can't see my ass coming to work today. He was joking and just running late, but it made me laugh. That's crazy, bro. That's the wildest joke I've ever heard. My nigga said I got anal blindness. I can't see my ass coming to work. That's crazy, bro. That's some crazy shit. Creative, though. What's the worst excuse you've ever heard for someone not coming into work? It was a very busy night at a restaurant, and he was supposed to come in at 6 p.m. After an hour of being late, my boss called him, and he said, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys I quit." Bruh. Come on, man. Oh, man, that was the worst night of that dude's life, bro. Worst night of that dude's life. I bet you he was just like, yeah, man, Tony is almost here, bro. He is almost here, and then I can go home, bro. I can't wait, because I know, like, restaurant jobs and grocery store jobs, and, you know, I would say most jobs, but I know there's some jobs that don't have the whole, like, you can't clock out until, like, your replacement person, you know, clocks in or whatever. And I remember when I worked in retail, bro, I would be sitting there and I would be waiting. I'm like, clock in, motherfucker. Because once you get your bitch ass back here, I am gone. I am sprinting to the door. You know what I mean? You can't tell me nothing. No customer better stop me. No fucking supervisor better stop. I don't give a shit. I'll give that supervisor. I'll be like, I will flip that fucking supervisor off, bro. I am off. I'm gone. Get me the fuck out of here. But when they don't show up, oh man, it be making you want to kill a motherfucker. You're like, I am about to strangle the next person that decides they need my help. You know what I mean? Because you think you going home, and then they're like, oh, hold on, can you stay for a little bit so that way, you know, we can call somebody in or da-da-da. I got to a point where I just stopped saying yeah. I was like, nope, I can't stay. I gotta go. You know, I would be like, nah, and I'd be taking my because we wore like aprons and hats and all kinds of shit. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Nope, not me, chief. I got to go. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm gone. Like, the fuck are we talking? Especially when I was able to work in the mornings. And I would work like 5 to 2. You know what I mean? It's only 2 in the afternoon. Oh, man. Your boy got the rest of the day to himself. I'm like, man, you ain't about to kill my day. Fuck that shit. I'm walking out that motherfucker like, yeah. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm telling you, son. Working retail, bro. Woo, it's rough. It's rough. And I'm sure that restaurant life is just as rough, bro. You know? All right. On to our next one. What's the worst excuse you've ever heard for not coming into work? Had a guy call in with the excuse that his cat went into labor and needed him there. He was out for 3 days, back for a day, then proceeded to call in for the next 3 days before we just fired him. I would say it was cute that he loves his cat so much, but he was borderline homeless from alcoholism and smelled like he was up all night drinking for the entire 2-week period he actually worked. Once his first paycheck came in, his cat went into labor, which was his way of saying, I got money to buy more booze and I can't stop drinking long enough to come back. Yo. So did he not have a cat or what? You know, like I thought he had a cat. Because I get it. You know, if your cat's having kittens, you know what I mean? You got to kind of set shit up and make sure that, you know, they don't wander off and stuff like that. Because the shit kittens get into is insane. You know, if you let those little motherfuckers just, you know, do their little tiny waddles around, they will get lost. They will. Because I remember this was probably like a couple years ago, maybe like 2022, maybe 2023. I remember my ex, her grandpa had took in a stray pregnant cat, and it had babies. And they were keeping the babies and the mom in like an upstairs vacant room that they had, and they were in the closet. And so, and they had a blanket, little setup and stuff like that, so that the mom could just like lay down and feed the babies and stuff like that. But every once in a while, the door would be left open, so that way the mom could come out and she could eat and use the bathroom and stuff like that. But if the door got left open and the little kittens were like walking around, these little motherfuckers would get out, and then they'd be gone. They'd be gone. You'd be like, where'd they go? And they're like this big. Oh, which camera is it? This big. They're little tiny babies. And you're like, where the fuck are they? Man, I swear to God. She had a very small litter. She only had 4 cats or kittens. And we could not, and I mean we could not find the last one. We couldn't find the last one to save our lives. Somehow, the kitten got out of, okay, so the way it was is like there was a room, and then outside of the room there was a loft. But like once you go out the room, directly to the left was a staircase, and then directly next to the staircase was a hallway. So it's like room, loft, then directly to the left was like a staircase, then a hallway. Somehow this little baby kitten went from the room, went down the hallway, and then there's a bathroom at like the end of the hallway. So there's like at the end of the hallway, there's like a room, and then there's a bathroom, and then there's a hallway, a small hallway to another room. So this little kitten went into the bathroom and like rolled himself up in the rug and was just chilling there. Like if you didn't know he was there, you would step on him. And it was, oh my God, it was like the scariest thing. We were looking for this little dude all over the place. And we finally found him because the mom cat, she was like digging at the rug. And I was like, the fuck is she doing? And so we went over there, and what do we see? This little guy, he is rolled up in I don't know how he rolled himself up in it, but he rolled himself up in the fucking blanket, and he was just in there. And we were like, how did you do this? Dude, you're not even like 2 weeks old, bro. Like, how the fuck? We were like, for one, how did he get this far? Because, they don't walk very far. They don't walk very fast. You know what I mean? They don't really have a lot of, rigidity in their arms and their legs. So, they're just kind of stumbling around, and, they're just being goofy and shit. But somehow this little motherfucker got all the way down there. We were like, and then he rolled himself up. We were like, how the fuck did he do this? It was insane. So I understand why, like, if that was the reason, his cat went in labor and he had to like take care of the kittens and calling out of work. I understand that because I've had to do it myself. And so I understand that. But for him, the fact that like it wasn't really a cat, it was that he was just drunk is insane to me, man. Absolutely insane. Golly, dude. All right. We'll do 2 more and win the thread. What's the worst excuse you've heard for? Hold on. What the fuck? What's the worst excuse you've heard for not coming into work? All right. Let me try to get back to where I was. Sorry. Okay. No, hold on. Where is it? Okay. What's the worst excuse you've heard for not coming into work? Got a colleague who I don't think has managed to complete a whole week since he started over 2 years ago.
What? Hey, yo, what the fuck?
How? How does this man still have a job? He hasn't worked a whole complete week in 2 years. What the fuck? There's always something, be it an illness or a bizarre, ridiculous thing occurring. Most recently, my shower door came off, so I'm working from home while the guy repairs it. I've lost my keys, and my fiance has taken the spare ones to give to her parents, so I can't leave the flat because I can't lock up. I swear he has run out of every possible excuse, but nope. Each time he concocts something new. He's the sort of person who loses door key cards every couple of months. He has about 4 mobile phones in the last 2 years due to loss or damage, has lost his debit card on more than one occasion, and once literally took a toilet door off his hinges because he couldn't figure out the locking mechanism and thought he was trapped. One of the people you literally wonder how they've made it this far in life. I'd almost find it comical if it weren't for the fact that he's a grade above me and recently managed to buy a new build flat, a goal of mine I've been working toward for the last 8 years. Bro, what? So, first off, my man is the absolute definition of Murphy's Law. And if you don't know what Murphy's Law is anything that can happen will happen. And it's like everything imaginable that could happen to this dude, it seems like it's happening to him. You know, like every single day, it's just happening to this dude. He's losing his debit card. He lost his phone. You know what I mean? It's just day after day. There's something else that's fucking happening. So like, homeboy is the epitome of Murphy's Law. And then on top of that, he hasn't worked a complete week in 2 years. Imagine that. Imagine like your job, say you guys are part-time and a whole week you guys work 4 days. My man works 3 days every week. Every week he only works 3 days out of the week. And this man bought a house. Like, how the fuck did you do that? Where are you getting this money, man? Because I know you ain't getting it from this job. Let's be straight. I know you ain't getting it from this job. Because if you were getting it from this job, my nigga, you be coming in every single day. Like, you gotta be getting this money from somewhere else. What, my man's a secret YouTuber or something? Like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Wow. Bruh. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. The fact that the homeboy has bought a house and he's got luck like that. He hasn't worked a full week in 2 years. I don't know. You know what I mean? Sometimes some people, they have like this weird luck or this weird, I guess, all the bad juju that comes to them, they turn it into good juju. I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know. That's crazy to me, though. That is crazy. But that's going to go ahead and be the end of that thread. Hope you guys enjoyed the thread. I know I did. Y'all motherfuckers are crazy. Y'all got some crazy ass coworkers, man. I won't lie to you. I've had some of these kind of coworkers before, and it's insane. It's insane, man. Hey, at every job you get a couple of those nut jobs. You know what I mean? You just get a couple of them, and it's like, bruh, how the fuck are you still employed here? How do you still do what you do? Because it always seems like the broke motherfuckers is going out doing shit, and you're like, bro, how? How are you doing? Where you got the money for this? Because I don't got the money for this, and I'm at work every day. Shit. Oh, my goodness. But again, hopefully you enjoyed the thread. If you have a crazy ass coworker story, man, let your boy know down in the comments. All right, get a part of that thread. But we're going to go ahead and hop into announcements, and then we'll get right on into our scenarios for today's beautiful show. So, patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show like these lovely people did for today. All right, $3 a month gets you that exclusive episode. If you're on the fence about Patreon, we did an episode last Friday on the 4th of July. It was a dope episode, an amazing, amazing episode. Definitely check that episode out if you're on the fence of Patreon, and you're like, I don't know if the 100 hours of content is really worth it for me, for only $3 a month. So, you know what I mean? You might want to check that episode out and see if it's your cup of tea, all right? And if it is, go ahead and click on that link down in the description and get a part of it, okay? Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support Man, I said it on the free Patreon Day episode that last month was our highest downloaded month, man. Almost 2,000 downloads in a month. That's amazing for a podcast that's really only been around for 2 years. And that's really awesome. That's some numbers I really didn't think I was ever going to hit. That's super awesome. I really appreciate that so much. We average almost 100 downloads a day, which is amazing. I love that so much, man. You guys are really showing the support. You guys are doing an awesome job, and I really appreciate that. And by you hitting the download, you're a part of that, and I appreciate the support. All right, I really, really do. So keep downloading as well as rating us 5 stars. Let's keep on this uptrend, and let's get to it. All right. And if you want to help out even more on the free 99 side of things, go ahead and follow us on TikTok as well as Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. Okay, I'm hoping to hit 2K subscribers by the end of this year. That is going to be a big goal for me. I do appreciate if you can, if you're not already subscribed, get on down there. Hit that subscribe button and get on there as well as being a part of the Discord. All right. If you tried to click the link before, that link didn't work. I have updated the link so it now works. All right. We were on stream. I talked about this on the free Patreon episode that we did last week. And yeah, people were trying to join it on the live stream. They said they couldn't join it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And so, they helped me out. I'm not the best at Discord, so you know what I mean? I had to figure it out, but they helped me out. We got the right link, so now you can click on it, join the notification center, so that way anytime I go live, anytime I upload a piece of content, you will get it. No matter if the content is on TikTok, if it's on YouTube, if we're streaming, and all the platforms that we're streaming on, so you guys can choose whatever platform it is that you want to stream on or watch the stream on. So if you watch on Twitch, you can, in the notification center, there will be a Twitch link, and you can go right to the stream. If you watch on Kick, you can click on the Kick link, go right to it. If you're on YouTube, you can go right to it. So, or if you're on TikTok, you can go right to it. All right. So I stream everywhere. I try to make it easy and accessible for you guys. So the Discord is the best way for me to do that. So that way it's a one-stop shop of everything for you guys. So, and I'm going to be growing the Discord. The more that people join, the more things we'll add to the Discord just to make it a one-stop shop for you guys. I'll probably have like certain links and stuff that is in the description. We'll kind of break it down. I'll probably have like book links and stuff and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We'll have like separate Discord channels that we can talk about the book that we're going over or talk about a book that we've gone over recently. So I'll have like a Haunting Adeline channel, I'll have a Hooked channel, I'll have a Court of Thorns and Roses channel. You know what I mean? We'll have different channels for the different books that we've gone over the years, so we can always talk about them and all that kind of cool stuff. So get down in the Discord. I have a lot of cool things planned for that, and yeah, just get a part of that. And again, hopefully we can start getting streams of like book content, so that way not only on the Thursday episodes are you guys getting a book, but you guys are also going to be getting books live on a stream. So I'm gonna try to patent that out and try to get that going for you guys, and we'll get more consistent with it, just like we are with the Thursday episodes. And yeah, that's gonna be exciting. I'm super excited for all of that. We got some cool shit coming out for you guys. Okay, so stay tuned. Again, get in the Discord for all the notification stuff. Patreon.com/My Asshole Podcast. Subscribe to us and keep downloading the podcast. All right. Without further ado, let's get into our scenarios. First one today. Am I the asshole for wanting to dump my girlfriend over her attitude lately? Okay. My 29 female girlfriend got invited to a destination wedding. I, 28 male, had plans for a while. My whole friend group of 20 years plus all found Airbnbs together in the area together. Some of them were split with all couples. I was single at the time, so I got one with myself and 4 guys I've known for 20 years. My girlfriend got invited 3 months before the wedding, and before she got invited, I already told my friends I'd stay with them because it's an expensive trip and we all want to keep the cost down. It ended up being $100 a person per night, which was a very good deal in the area. Once I told her this, I started hearing things like, you should see if you can get out of the Airbnb and we can get a hotel room on the hotel block instead. They were almost $700 per night for the whole week. That's a lot of money. That's facts, bro. God damn. $700 per night? Bitch, that ain't cheap. What the fuck are you talking about? $700 per night when I can go to this Airbnb and spend $100 per night. Like, what the fuck? I told her, no, sorry, that's not going to happen. We've had plans for this trip for a long time. She goes, they won't give you your money back. What dates are we going to my parents? Might be able to let us use their timeshare points. Followed by, you need to mentally prepare me for this trip. You're dating someone who grew up with mob money, took limos to and from the airport, stayed in 5-star hotels, and only ate at Michelin-rated restaurants. That's my idea of location. Wow. Okay. So you're pretty much dating a very spoiled and entitled rich girl, is what's pretty much I'm getting from this. But let's keep reading. How big is your room? How big is your bed? Are we going to be sharing a bathroom? Then it was followed by, I hope your friends picked a bougie of an Airbnb as your other friend did. He has good taste. She saw another group's Airbnb through one of the girlfriends going on the trip. When booking flights, now in person tonight, I told her it's going to be about $900 per person. She was fine with paying for her own and didn't expect me to pay for hers. But then she starts giving me a hard time about our 2-hour layover in the return flight home. Saying she'll just book her own flight. She's not doing a layover. I've communicated many times that I'm budgeting for a down payment on a new house, and I've been watching my finances very carefully. And the direct flight cost me an extra $300, and I've already shelled out about $2,000 for the wedding. I honestly want to just tell her to fuck off and not come and dump her over this. I feel like she's just blatantly being really disrespectful and ungrateful. I didn't even ask her for $1 for the B&B or any of the excursions my friends planned, which cost about $500 per person. I pay extra for her to join last minute, and all I asked for her to pay was for her own flight. I just wanted this to be a fun, relaxing vacation to enjoy my friend's wedding, and now I'm just feeling stressed and irritated to the point I myself don't even want to go anymore. Am I the asshole if I break up with her before this trip? I haven't booked her flight yet, but I already told my friends that she's coming. Wedding is in 2 months of the day now, and I also feel bad having to ask them to redo seating arrangements and such, and I'm not sure if they already paid for everything for an extra person to come. I'm just really frustrated and irritated with her behavior that's seemingly coming out of nowhere. Our first date was at a small, crappy dive bar for a couple of drinks, and now this insane attitude and difficulty is coming out of nowhere. The planning, etc., is also just starting to become mentally draining. I'm in the middle of studying for my CPA exam, and it's just ruining my ability to focus. Look, man, personally, I don't think you're the asshole. And the reason I don't think you're the asshole is because I think she's gotten used to whatever lifestyle you may have gotten going on, as well as she's also she's a little more comfortable now, so now she's kind of trying to bring in her old lifestyle that she used to have with her parents, which I understand. You know, if you come from family and wealth and luxury and all that kind of stuff, you tend to want to stay in that, and I understand that. You're not going to go backwards from that, and a lot of women won't go backwards from that, and I understand that. But if she is doing this now. Imagine how bad it's going to be later on. You know, it's not going to be a thing where this is going to change. It's not going to be a thing where, oh, she's going to get better with time. It's not going to be a thing where, you know, eventually she'll kind of realize, oh shit, I'm kind of being a bitch. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Or you have a conversation with her and it just kind of magically fixes things. I think that this is just kind of the person that she is, and she's finally starting to show you who she really is. And now that she's finally showing you who she really is, you're kind of seeing that and you're like, you know, I'm not really about that. That's not really what I signed up for. I'm good on that. And yeah, I would probably break up with a girl like that too, because for one, it seems like you're the type of guy that's kind of on the up and up right now. You know what I mean? You're getting your CPA license. You're looking to buy a house, all this stuff. You really don't want to drag this girl into all of that stuff that you got going on, because it's only going to stress your life out way more. And again, like I said, if she's already doing this now, imagine what it's going to be like in the future. It's going to be like this, but 10 times worse. Because now she's gotten even more comfortable, and now she's talking back even more, and she's being more disrespectful, and she's doing all this dumb shit. And it's like, bro. So what I would do in this situation is I would call my friends and be like, hey, yo, look, this is the situation. I'm actually thinking about breaking up with this girl because, you know, she's just being too much, bro, and I can't handle this. I can't deal with this. I'm just trying to have a good vacation with you guys. I got a lot going on in my personal life. This girl is just complicating things and making things just too much, and I'm not trying to deal with it. You know, let them know, hey, is there any way that we can still change things? Has things been paid for, this and that? Now, if things have been paid for and all that kind of stuff, you know, if they're willing to bite the bullet on the money, maybe you could pay them back. You know what I mean? Something like that. Because I wouldn't have her go. No, that would be stupid. If you're going to sit there and be like, oh, you know, I'll break up with her after the trip. Don't do that. Don't do that, man. Because if you start doing that shit, man, it's only going to ruin your trip. And you're going to be mad that you even had her go. It would be better to just break up with her. Be like, look, this ain't working out. I don't want you to come. I didn't even book your flight. You know, we already canceled your excursions, all that kind of stuff. You and me, we thooski. You know, go out there, have a good time. If you got to pay back your peoples for having them for them, you know, helping out, adding her to the excursions, stuff like that, just pay them back and have a good time. Reason being is because, like I said, you have a lot of good things going for you. You're about to get your CPA license, so you're about to have a really great job. You're looking to get a house pretty soon, and a lot of these things are big responsibilities, and so you don't want to have this big fucking aching headache alongside these big responsibilities, bro. It's gonna drain you, and it's not gonna be good. You are gonna be like, fuck, dude, what do I do? Just like how you are now. This frustration is only going to continue to persist because she's only going to continue to be this way. Again, you could try to have conversations with her and talk to her and all that kind of stuff, but she seems like an entitled rich girl who's never been told no in her life, who's never really been told, hey, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, she's very entitled, and I guarantee you this is not going to change, and that's why you do got to break up with her, and that's why I think you're not the asshole in this situation at all. You know, but again, that's my 2 pennies. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. Should he break up with homegirl? Should he take her and then break up with her after? Like, you let me know what you think. You let me know. All right, on to our next one. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend has a coworker who he always talks about, and it rubs me the wrong way. All right, let's see what's up. All right, I, 19 female, boyfriend 20 male, recently got a job a few months ago thanks to a friend of his. When I first visited him, I saw a girl at the cashier who greeted me and let my boyfriend come sit with me on his break. For context, this girl is friends with my boyfriend's friend, which is how they basically started talking to each other. At first, my boyfriend would tell me how she would always talk about me and ask about me. I talked about it like it was a good thing because she would call me pretty and ask me me and him how we're doing, but even then it made me feel a bit uncomfortable since I never even talked to her. Fast forward a few months later, I guess their relationship has grown closer. He considers her a friend outside of work. From what I know, they hung out twice with friends and always mentions her. This really makes me feel off because the convos we have would have nothing to do with her. Every time he tells me a fact about her, I really want to say, I don't know why you feel the need to tell me that, but I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I feel a few weeks ago, she went on vacation and even bought him a souvenir. I thought it was weird as fuck, but I pretended to be happy for him. Why I find this problematic is because he seems to mention her more than his other friends. Of course, he brings up his other friends from time to time, but this is literally a coworker he's talking about, and I would like to know if I am right to believe that something is up before I confront him about it. I don't think confronting him about it will do anything. And the only reason I say that is because he's going to just look at you like you're crazy and be like, babe, why are you acting like this? You know, she's just a friend, bro. She's just a coworker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about her, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know if you want to consider that gaslighting. You could if you want, but that's how he's going to be. He's just going to look at you like, babe, you're kind of acting crazy. Like, this is just a coworker. This is just a friend. This is the girl that I just hang out with other friends. It's not like I'm hanging out with her, just me and her, like, yeah, we're close, but we ain't like that. I think who you should try to talk to is the friend. Because I think he's going to be more reluctant to kind of tell you what's really going on, and be like, hey, does, so-and-so got feelings for my man, or, are they kind of flirty? Like that's the guy to get information out of, I'm being honest with you. Confront your boyfriend again, he's just going to kind of give you the whole... Again, if you want to call it gaslighting, you want to call it runaround, whatever you want to call it, you can call it that. But he's just going to be like, babe, that's just my friend. That's just my coworker. It's not like I hang out with her, one-on-one. I hang out with her only, in a like friend group setting and stuff like that, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And so talk to the friend. Talk to the friend that like not really set them up, but, obviously introduced them and allowed them to be friends and stuff like that, because he met her through his friend that got him the job. So ask him, because he's there not only at work, but he's there when they're hanging out. So, you know what I mean? They can kind of let him know, like, yeah, does she have feelings for my man? Are they flirty, this and that? That's the only advice I could really give you on this situation, because from what it seems like he does have a bit of a little work crush. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't think it's anything to where he'd rather be with her over you, but it is definitely a thing where he got him a little work crush. That's probably like his work wife or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And you may not like to hear this, but I'm sure that's kind of what the deal is, where they play around like that and they have fun like that. I guarantee that's kind of what's going on. But again, talk to the friend. The friend, he knows, he's going to know. He's going to have your answers, if I'm being honest with you. He's going to be your guy. Yeah, so if you want an in on this, that's your guy right there, for being straight with you. So you guys let me know what you think about it in the comments, though. You know what I mean? Is he doing a little something he shouldn't be doing? Should she confront him? Should she confront the girl? Should she confront the friend? I think confronting the girl would yield the same results as confronting her boyfriend. You know what I mean? Because even she would get defensive and be like, no, what are you talking about? Like, we talk about you all the time, and, he's just a friend, and I just kind of see him as a coworker. Like, he's a cool guy, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, she's going to kind of give you the runaround and, gaslight you, if that's what you want to call it. She's just going to give you the same runaround as if you were to confront your boyfriend. So confront the friend, because I think since he's kind of on the outside looking in, he's going to be able to kind of give you that info that you're looking for, the little juicy info you're looking for. So, yeah. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, though. All right? Okay. On to our next one. Am I the asshole for crying in fights with my partner? Okay. Hello, I female, my partner female. We have been in a relationship for 2 years. We live together. The issue is that she complains that every time we have an ugly fight, I cry. The way of managing my emotions is crying. I have a problem that the doctors have not yet defined, but I get a lot of chest pain and aching or itching. I also have an ulcer every time we fight hard. I get chest pain and my ulcer changes. The last time we fought and I had an anxiety attack, I started crying and she hugged me, trying to comfort me, but my attack was so bad that I started vomiting on my own. She started hugging me, turned around and left me crying. She told me that she was tired of me, of my whining, and that she didn't even care to see me cry, that she wasn't even sorry to see me crying, that she is so in love with me. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. Wait, what? So she doesn't care that you're crying. She's not even sorry to see you crying, but she is so in love with you?
What?
Okay. But then she came to ask for forgiveness. I was devastated, crying with my heart in my hand, and I told her that she already broke my heart, that if she really doesn't love me, she should tell me, but she says that she does love me, that she really wants to try it with me. I need advice. I'm desperate. Will I be the tired one? Okay. I'm not too well versed in lesbian relationships. All right. I'm not, but I'll give my 2 little pennies and I'll rub my 2 little schmeckles together and give you something. I think this comes down to being a situation of someone who is overly emotional with somebody who is very, like, how would you say? I don't want to say stoic because that's not really what she is. But just not so much into their emotions. They're just not into their emotions. Not necessarily logical, because the whole bullshit of like, oh, I hate seeing you cry and I'm not sorry if you're crying, but I'm so in love with you. Yeah, that ain't logical at all. So I wouldn't say they got logic on their side. I would just say this is like a person where they're like overly emotional, and then there's somebody who is just not as emotional at all. And I think you're the type of person, and I think a lot of women are like this nowadays. I could be wrong, but it does seem like there are a lot of women that are like this nowadays, where they think that their partner should love them the way that they love their partner. And that is simply just not the way to go about it, just because you're not going to find someone who loves the way that you love. And I think since you have that mindset of that you want your girlfriend to love you the way that you love her, but she doesn't, I think that's kind of what makes you overly emotional. It kind of makes you cry, and it makes you feel like, oh, you don't care about me, and this and that. And look, I understand, what she said, and the fact that she said, oh, I don't care if you're crying, and and I'm sick of this, blah blah blah, and all that. I think that it doesn't have to do necessarily with your crying or your emotions. I think that kind of deals with more of your health issues. And I've said this numerous times. It's funny because now that a lot of people kind of understand a little more of my background, and that my ex-fiance used to be the type of woman who was chronically ill, I've been getting a lot of these scenarios lately. Yeah, I've been dealing with a lot of these scenarios, and where somebody has a partner, and their partner is chronically ill, and they just don't really know how to deal with it. They a lot of times look at it as a nuisance. They look at it as annoying, but they still love the person, and it's a lot. And I'm here to say that if you're the type of person that can't really support them through that, and you can't be by their side through all of it and be able to be by their side willingly, then that's not a relationship you should be in. You know, that's somebody that you really will never be able to be in a healthy relationship with, because she's always going to have these chronic illnesses of like her ulcers and panic attacks and all this kind of stuff. She's always going to have these things. They're not just going to magically go away one day. You know, this is going to be a chronic thing where it happens over and over and over again. And if you're not able to stand by her side willingly every single time that it happens, then honestly, this is not a relationship you should be in. And that's hard to say, and I understand that, but it is the truth. It is a relationship you should not be in. When I was in that situation and I was in the relationship with my ex-fiance and, you know, dealing with her chronic illness, I did come to that crossroads of, holy shit, can I deal with this? Can I be by her side willingly every single day, dealing with this illness? You know, having to pick her up from work because she passed out, having to drive her to and from the hospital, dealing with, you know, hospital visits and medications and all kinds of stuff. Like, can I deal with all of this? And lucky for me, I was able to take that path of, you know what? I love her and I care about her more than, you know, the inconveniences that this is going to bring me. You know, not just our relationship, but that's going to bring me. Because it does. It brings a lot of inconveniences to you as an individual. Because again, you know, you don't have to deal with these inconveniences and you don't have to deal with these issues and stuff like that if you don't want to. You don't. You break up with the person, you don't have to deal with it anymore. But there's a lot of people who stay in these relationships and they use it as like a crutch to complain on and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, bro, just get out of the relationship. I don't know why it is you're staying in this relationship that you obviously don't want to be in, because you can't handle the, like pretty much what it takes to be in a relationship with this person that has a chronic illness. You know, again, I had to come to that crossroads and kind of deal with it like, shit, am I going to deal with this? Am I not? Like, what am I going to do? And lucky for me, I was able to go through it. You know, I was able to get through it. And obviously, you know, that wasn't the reason why we didn't work out. There was other reasons why we didn't work out. But, you know I had to deal with that. And that was something that I was willing to do because I loved her and I cared about her. And I did it all. Went from the medications to the going to the hospital to the, you know what I mean, to the different, just all kinds of stuff, whether it was tests and this and that. It was a lot, you know, and we dealt with it together. And so, you know, for me, whenever I get these kind of scenarios, I really know where the person's coming from and I know the frustration that they're dealing with. But see, some people, they look at it as more of just a nuisance and a bother more than like, okay, my partner's going through this, you know, we got to do X, Y, and Z. We got to plan things because, you know, that's how I would have to do it. I'd have to plan the day out and make sure that we get to the hospital on time. We get here on time. I had to wake us up and, you know, I had to get us going and be like, all right, come on, babe, hurry up. Let's go. You know, we got to get to the hospital at this time. You know what I mean? Make sure you take this medication. Make sure you have all your medications. She was really good about a lot of that stuff. But, you know, there were times where she couldn't, you know, she couldn't remember it. She couldn't think of it. She couldn't, you know, it was just, there were times where it was hard. And so, you know, when you have those times where it's hard, you really have to kind of buckle down and be that partner, you know. And I think with your girlfriend, she's just not equipped to deal with the problems that you got going on. You know, she may love you, she may care about you, all that good stuff. But when you're dealing with the chronic illness side of things, whether it may be your anxiety attacks, whether it's your ulcers, whether it's your crying fits, whatever the case may be, she doesn't want to willingly stand next to you and deal with it with you. She looks at it as it's a burden and it's a nuisance. And that, to me, I say, is not a relationship that you should be in because you view it that way. And that's just again, my 2 pennies, my 2 little schmeckles. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. But That's going to go ahead and be today's episode. Let me know what you think about all the scenarios we've gone over, as well as the thread. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Again, patreon.com/MyTheAsshole Podcast. Over 100 hours of content over there for $3 a month. Audio listeners, keep downloading the episodes. I appreciate that so much. Let's let July, let's make it a 2,000 download month, baby. Let's get to it. All right. Love you guys so much. Appreciate all the support. Follow us on Instagram as well as TikTok for all the short form content, as well as clips for upcoming episodes. And subscribe to us on YouTube, man. I'm hoping to hit 2K subscribers, maybe even more by the end of the year. Love you guys all. I will see you on Thursday for the second to last episode of Hooked. Okay, so next week is going to be, or this week is going to be like our last full Hooked episode, and then the following week we're going to finish Hooked, and then we're going to go into our brand new book. All right, I'm not telling you guys about the brand new book, but let me tell you this. Okay, let me tell you this. The brand new book is spicy as fuck. All right. Hold on. Let me see if I could do something for y'all. Hold on. Let me see real quick. Let me see. Okay. There was a thing I wanted to read off to you guys. Dang it, man. Okay, I'm gonna try to read this off to you guys without giving you this is the synopsis, okay, of the book. All right. So our main character, she is a trauma nurse. This is for the new book, okay? Our main character, she's a trauma nurse. She says she doesn't need any more kinks. She likes the one that she's landed on just fine. To her, nothing can top the masked men she follows online, unless one of those men was shirtless, heavily tattooed, and waiting for her in her bedroom. Oh, baby. You know what I mean? She dreams about being haunted by one in particular, of him chasing her down and doing deliciously dark things to her willing body. She never could have guessed that by sending one drunken text, those dreams would become her new reality. Woo! Oh, if that right there doesn't get you excited about the new book, I don't know what will. Woo! I'm telling you, this was going to be a good one, all right? So, I'm telling you, this week, we will finish up Hooked. Then the next week, this week, we'll have our 2 or maybe 3 chapters of Hooked. And then next week, we will finish Hooked, and we'll get right into this new book, all right? So, look out, all right? Woo! I'm telling you, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, love you guys all. See you on Thursday, and peace.